Banana slam jam.
So this is a Kali replay. Kali is my ball and chain. We have her at about 3.1k, 3.2k MMR. She's playing an unranked party queue game with a bunch of Immortal players. So she wanted me to make sure you guys understand. These guys are all Immortal. Fleet Fox is Divine, but, you know, same thing. Immortals on the opponent team and such. So she wants me to critique and watch her replay. So, let's check it out. 4-position Jakiro with offlane Pudge against Troll Warlord and a Venomancer 5-position. It looks like. I'd say it's definitely her job in this lane to detract attention from the Pudge. So forcing out a lot of harass on herself. Make sure she doesn't die though. Okay, good. I want to keep doing this if I'm hurt. I want to probably even consider ferrying myself another salve, because that's very likely to happen again. I want to be able to play up and not have it like ruin my impact on the lane. Really hard to pull here when you're... actually, okay, it worked out. Surprised that the Venomancer's not really bullying you away at all. She did block the camp, which was good. Maybe it was the Pudge that blocked it. But made it so the Venomancer had to de-ward. So overall, this pull maneuver was actually really good. I was about to say it shouldn't get away with it, but the fact that you got away with it was really good. Okay, hook into tower. That was all set up by the pull. At this point, I'd even consider having your Pudge maybe deny you, but... So my major issue, I think, right now is that you have 500 gold and you haven't flown yourself any items. I think I've talked to you about this before. When you're in this heavily contested lane, I don't think boots are the item. I think, like, you could even just vouch for, like, a windlace into stick and more regen. I think saving up for 500 gold on 4-position might even be too much here. Like, if I have 450 gold after we just got a kill, I don't think boots are enough to, like, power spike off of that kill. I'd rather be full health, full mana, like a regen trading item like raindrops or a stick, and then buy that windlace with it, you know? I think the boots are a bit greedy, and they just don't do enough for you with 500 gold. Okay. At this stage, I would do my best to give the Pudge solo XP. So, like, right here, I see the lane pushing into my Pudge, like right here. I think this harass is fine. And then it's 408. I would have even maybe considered doing this earlier, but I would take the time to maybe go check the top rune. You see that it's bottom, so you actually don't have to check top rune. But at this point, I really don't think it's good to mooch levels off the Pudge. He's already losing to Troll Warlord. In terms of XP, Troll's level 4, Pudge is only level... he's actually not losing by too much. But I think it's really crucial that if you guys get Pudge 6, that's like your power spike. And so every lane... Sometimes the support is actually more important or as important to get levels. I think in this case, Pudge is the type of hero that either wants to get level 6 and kind of take over his lane, kind of like a Doom type hero, where he doesn't want to leave, or he gets 6 and leaves. So he can go kill other people. Kind of depends on the other matchups, but a lot of it really revolves around him getting 6. And if he leaves the lane, that's going to open up XP for you. And if he dominates the lane, that also opens up the ability for you guys to push the tower. So either way, if he wants to stay or leave, him getting level 6 benefits you a lot. So in this circumstance, I would have really prioritized him getting XP over myself. And I would just back off here. Usually it's not good to go for trading maneuvers like you did there when the opponent has way more creeps than you do. Notice how he kind of just hits you back. So I probably would have spent this time like stacking and picking up bounties. Really important to always have an internal clock on bounties. If the Venomancer was on top of it, he would have just taken the bounty. I'm watching the Pudge's perspective for some reason. That was definitely just greedy. You two are not strong enough to take that camp. Pretty much the dictating of whether or not you take the camp is who's stronger in lane. If you guys are stronger in lane and you can push it in, okay, I would take this back. It's not who's stronger in lane. It's who can efficiently push the lane in. So, like, if you guys are the ones that are pushing the lane in, you can easily do that camp. But just going for that camp the way you did was very, I would say, lazy. You're just like, there's a camp here. Let's take it. You didn't consider whether or not they could contest you or anything like that. Troll just didn't ult for some reason, but that's okay. Good kill. Pudge is level 6 now. You guys can definitely look to pressure the tower. Venomancer's a pretty tough dive, though.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So if you want me to be honest, I think Venomancer's a really hard hero to push into. Venomancer... So, like, when I'm playing DK, for instance, I'll give you an example. When I'm playing DK, for instance, and the opponent picks Timbersaw, it's like, DK is a really powerful pushing hero, but it's really hard for him to push into DK. Or it's really hard for DK to push into Timbersaw, because Timbersaw kind of just kills you. So what a lot of really good DK will do is, like, force the Timbersaw to react to what they're doing and then go elsewhere. So, like, if I was DK, I would, like, ult mid tower and then TP top, or, like, walk top and force the Timber to follow me, or, like, overall just dodge the Timber. Venomancer is just one of those heroes that's, like, really hard to push into, and I think trying to fight into a wall that is Venomancer is going to be really difficult for you. So, at this point, since you guys killed the troll and everything, and your Pudge is doing his thing, I would have left and pushed mid. I would have pressured mid with the Naga Siren. I know it's a Naga mid, which is kind of weird, but either way, I think knowing what heroes stop you from pressuring is really important, and Venomancer just kind of shuts that shit down. I would say, like, Venomancer on their team is their best D-pusher. Puck is okay, but she's not level 6 yet, meaning that she doesn't threaten you. She can just nuke out the wave. And all the other heroes kind of like D-push. Like, Pugna's first spell is, like, really short range. Troll, no D-push. Doom, no D-push. Venomancer's, like, their only D-push. So, at this point in the game, when you're a Jakiro who's kind of looking to pressure in lanes and use Liquid Fire on towers, you should go to the lane that doesn't have the one guy that really stops you from doing that. And it's not really a surprise to me that you guys try to make this maneuver into a Veno and you just kind of die. So I would have definitely pressured mid tower and forced the Veno to go there and then ran back top. That's what I would have done. So, like, right... Right here, I would have just walked mid. Like, right here, maybe done your D-ward thing, and I would have just walked mid immediately.
Invisibility.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
So when I'm thinking about items this game, I'm not a huge fan of Yules. You already have a decent amount of setup for your stun. I'm not a huge fan of Force Staff because they have Puck. So with that in mind, I think I would have gone Glimmer first item. I think Glimmer is the best survivability item that you can give to your team. They get doomed, they get ran up by Troll, they get nuked by Pugna or Puck. Yules, in my opinion, is more of like a setup, protect your own self kind of item. And I think Glimmer could have just been really good for you here. So I think that's something worth considering. I would say, like, Glimmer, Yules, Force would probably be what I'd do here. Like, Yules is still good, but I think Glimmer would be a better first item. So now you're getting levels. Generally, Jakiro things. I wouldn't have used Ice Path to nuke a creep wave, though. Isn't it like 50 damage or something? Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm not a huge fan of maxing out Ice Path. So the reason why is in the game, you really need to think about your role in terms of lane pressure. So you have Pudge and AA. You have two heroes automatically that are just never going to push waves. And Faceless Void does not push waves fast either. So even if Faceless Void is going to be farming, it's really important for you to set up your kill heroes with wave pushing. Your only wave clear really is Naga. And I think it's super important that you guys have ample enough wave clear such that you can be efficient on the map. and I think maxing Ice Path in a game like this is really bad for that reason. So I would have almost certainly gone like 4-1-4 kind of thing. Like I would have gone max Dual Breath, maybe a value point in Ice Path just to have the TP cancel if you want, but then have the max Liquid Fire for the towers. If you're like never hitting a tower, maybe you can go 4-4-1 with max Dual Breath first. But you definitely have a very important role in taking towers or like pushing lanes this game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Clarities are your best friend as a support. Keep that in mind. I definitely see you at low mana a lot.
Dire's top tower is fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Top tower is under attack.
Okay. That Doom was feeling himself. So at this stage in the game, I would argue that you're the one that's supposed to be bottom, while your Void is supposed to be somewhere safer. You're the hero that's secure. Like, you're really the only D-push on your entire team. I think it's really important, especially when you're playing with players that you're in a party queue with, that you understand Jakiro's a great dead lane farmer. He's one of the best in the game. Jakiro, Wyvern, long-range nukers, you know, Elder Titan, more survivable fours like Sand King. These heroes are great at taking the dead lane farm because they're relieving pressure for their team, and they are doing it in a way that's really hard to gank them. And if they do die, usually they clear the wave while dying. So the enemy team doesn't get the tower during the time that they're dead. So notice how I even said, like, you should be taking bottom farm, and then 20 seconds later, your Void dies. He should just not be there. He shouldn't be up a Pega. He is immortal. But at the same time, like, as a support, if you say, hey, man, like, go farm top, like, why not just swap you and him, right? Like, why is he farming there and you're farming here? You're a 4 position, and you could be doing the same job that the 1 position is. So if a hero that's quote-unquote less priority and weaker could be doing the same job, it should definitely be done. Very nice Ice Path, very nice TP. But once again, I'm just going to harp on it. You've been at like less than half mana for the last 6 minutes. I think that's a big deal. I think your lack of early pressure on the mid tower is showing now. You guys don't have it at 16 minutes, and now Venomancer's planting himself there. It would have been really good to drag him around the map and then kill towers that he's not at. Another great Ice Path, set up into Chrono. I mean, overall, I've talked to you a lot. You push buttons pretty damn well. Your spellcasting in teamfights is often very good.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's never really my problem with your play. So, like, right after that team fight, I would have probably done exactly what you're doing here. I would have nuked out a wave with my Q. I see people mid. So you end up going Glimmer after the Yules. So overall, I'd say that's pretty acceptable. You know, missing every creep, that's fine though. Got 1 out of 7, that's good. So this is a situation where you should be very scared. It's not about getting the farm, it's about pushing this wave out. You should be much more, like right now you're fine because you see 3 mid. But like right here after they D-ward, you should be like very scared. Like you should back off right now. Like you should have laid your nuke and laid your E and backed the hell off. Because it's so important that you start to be elusive in these situations where what I'm doing is I'm hiding in the trees this whole time, waiting for them to show, and if they show anywhere else, I'm macro-pyring the next wave and TPing home. That's like exactly what I'm doing. But you're just showing for longer than you need to, which is leaving you more vulnerable, which instead of cutting the next creep wave, you're actually getting gone on. So this really boils down to the fact that you should be weaving in the trees rather than showing yourself on the creep wave for much longer. And the minute you see somebody like that troll show on the creep wave, you macro pyre and TP home, and you've defeated their entire purpose of being bottom. So it really comes down to the entire mindset that you felt like you should be hitting those creeps and everything. You should feel scared. You should be scared. Your positioning should be passive. Very passive. And you should be hiding in the trees. But instead you walk like a very predictable path, and they catch you. That's why people run in trees, for that exact reason. It's a very high skill thing in Dota to understand when you're supposed to just run through the trees and play elusive like that. I mean, overall, I mean, I know you like me to watch these games because of your spellcasting and your overall teamfight contribution. It's always generally pretty damn good. So we got 3 kills, trying to de-ward around mid, but they all are respawning, so we have to be careful. This is a little ballsy when they're all respawning. You do have a glimmer, though. You're pretty survivable. Oh, so you do go force that. Nice. So overall, your items are good. Right here, you should not be afraid to push out that mid wave for your team. You see them bottom, so your positioning should be kind of like towards the top half of the lane. But I know you may say I'm like you're stealing farm from Void, but I can only tell you the most important thing is that that mid lane gets pushed in. It's a lot of information for both teams, whether or not it's pushed.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Same thing bottom here. I think you should be the one really playing away from your team rather than your Void. That's like a big understanding problem that you guys have. Like, I don't know if, you know, who to tell, but it's either of you that could fix it. Like, Void should not be that person. Oftentimes, if you're a support and you're supposed to be farming the dangerous farm and you're not taking it, a core will naturally gravitate towards the farm knowing that it is supposed to get farmed. Like, it really is a thing. So, most of the time, if a core is dying like that, I put about 60% of the blame on the support, because if the support was there in the first place, that core would not be there. If the support is farming there and the core still shows up, obviously that guy's just a Papega. But like, if you're taking that farm, most cores will not show up and take it, especially when it's bad farm. But they do have the understanding in the back of their mind that like, oh, this wave should be farmed. We shouldn't just be losing a tier 2 tower for free. So they go farm it and then they die. Very important that you understand that your dead lane farming this game was massively important. A lot of times as support, one of the 2 supports' job is to keep the lane pressure of the dead lane out. Sometimes it's a core when it's like Ember Spirit or Puck or something, but in this game it's 100% you. I think it's pretty obvious in the draft. Should instantly Euls him, obviously, when he ults, but I mean, that's the reason why I wanted you to buy a Euls, is for troll ulti. So I have to imagine if you thought ahead of time, you know, I have this Euls for troll ulti. I think it's really important to have in your mind specifically why you bought the item, like exactly why, so that when it comes to the fight, instead of reacting, you're just doing. So the minute that troll ultis, he just gets Eulsed. You obviously did it, but it was a bit late, so I think it really comes down to you. That was a reaction rather than just doing. You didn't think about it ahead of time. Because if you did, you'd just do it much faster. They keep wanting to play the dead lane for some reason.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So mid-game, once you have these jungle items as well as this Eul's mana regen, your mana usage is fine. But you really need to have better mana management between like the 5 to 15 minute mark.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So I think the main thing you want to work on as a player is to be much more decisive with your movements. So like right here, if you feel safe to be here, then you should walk up, nuke the wave that's at 2940, like the one that's coming right here. You should nuke it and TB base, and then you're full health, full mana, and you'll be at base. And then you can be at this fight just as soon, but without the lingering. Just need to be much more decisive. I don't have much else to say about this, other than, like, when you get kills, you're very indecisive. I've seen you kind of just chill. And that's fine. I know you don't play Dota as much. Like, you don't play more than, like, a few games a day. But the goal is that you want these decisions to be very crisp, very fast. So, I just see this and I'm like, oh, look at all this 7 seconds you wasted. That 7 seconds could have been you killing the wave, TPing the base, be full health, full mana, and then fight bottom, just like you did. So, like, you end up in the same place because where you're going is correct, but you cleared an extra wave and you're full health, full mana. Just like imagine for yourself the top lane being pushed to here still. It's just a lot of information is supplied to your team by doing so. So it looks like you're trying to make a move in your own jungle. Your Naga's dying in your own jungle. Very interesting stuff here from the Immortal players in the party. If anybody hasn't noticed already, like 90% of their deaths are bottom. Once again, did not use the troll in his ult, but I guess that time it was okay. I would probably just insta-use him in his ult every time. Especially if he's already at like 1 health. Didn't deliver yourself a TP. What is this, a Gork stream? You definitely don't look at the rest of the map enough. Like, generally speaking, like right now, you could just have your E on autocast and be looking at this fight. I haven't seen anything that's going on in this fight after watching your perspective. I don't think you should be so scared of that troll. In this situation, you should be ballsy as fuck and run at this troll. Like, to have the presence of mind, Doom's dead. Troll's running away. It's just him. I would have, like, four-stabbed aggressively onto the troll and, like, glimmered myself so that if he tries to go on me, I'm glimmered. The whole idea is that you're giving vision to your team to continue chasing, capitalizing on the fact that you just won that fight. So overall, you do a pretty decent job of pushing waves, but you could definitely push your limits on how fast you're pushing waves. You're also doing it, like, very poorly positioned. I don't know how else to word it other than, like, when I said bottom, like, you should be scared, and you're just not. Like, you're showing on the creep wave way longer than you have to. You're making yourself way more exposed than you have to. Like, the point is that you're pushing the wave, not to make sure you're getting every CS. So just like nuke it, push E in, walk away kind of thing. Good scouting out. Very nice ice path, Pog. Very nice spell casting. Unfortunate. Has a lot of damage.
Radiant's top tower is under Radiant structures are fortified.
He has an egg, that's funny. This is obviously kind of just an aimless fight that your team decided to take. There's nothing on the bottom half of the map for you guys there. You had no chrono. There's just no objective there. There's really nothing more to it than there's just nothing to gain from fighting there. But all the lanes are pushed in, so even though you're all dead, you're not going to lose your base or anything. Obviously a very chaotic game, even though you guys are in a party. I think overall the sheep at this point in the game is pretty okay because other than... You really have no instant disables on your entire team. So I think the sheep was a fine item. Against heroes like Puck. I think you're in range to sheep him there, but I think you just misclicked. Naga was a bit slow. Could have dusted there as well. Dust! A little bit slow on the item usage, but better late than never. Nice glimmer. I mean, at this stage, we're kind of just playing Dota in the sense that, like, we're all just trying to push buttons. We're fighting. There's a lot of skirmishes. Looking for pickoffs. Nice kill by the Naga. I'd definitely be getting some wards up that are scouting out their side of the map so you can kind of hunt them down. Nice Yule Scepter. Does this guy just, like, not have a BKB? That guy's nuts. AA, Pudge, Jakiro, Naga, Void. No BKB. Forehead. But BSJ, they have Chrono that goes through BKB. Nice sheep. Got the Minnow killed. Good job. Pretty good targeting overall. I would definitely have way more sentries on me. I'd even consider a gem at this point. You guys are having some serious detection issues. They have like a Glimmer, a Shadow Blade. Yeah, I think this really boils down to sentries. Instead of dust, I'd be investing in a lot of sentries. It's probably on your AA, but I think you could be too. I'd even buy a gem at this point. I think you guys not having more detection is definitely really bad, whether it's you or the AA. Either way, if your AA is not doing it, I would do it on you. We lose 2 lanes of racks, but here we go, the Wombo. Overall, the good old no BKB Troll Warlord.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, nice, a gem. They delivered it to us.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You definitely gotta drop something for this detection, unless one of your cores is carrying it. Yikes! All of your detection rides on an AA. That's scary as shit. Did Pudge get it? No, it looked like he handed it off. Oh, nice, we did. Okay.
Middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks are under Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
That's a TP. Wow, Pog TP right there. Troll Warlord just hitting the base. Force staff? Force staff your Pudge! Well, that worked out, I guess. Little ballsy holding that force staff there. Is this the march down into mid at all, or march down mid to end it all?
Are under attack. Dyer's middle barracks has fallen. Dyer's middle tower.
Oh, they cut the creep wave. Very good setting up of kills. Oh, another Hex. Nice. I mean, this game was pretty chaotic to say the least. I assume it's going to be over here. Maybe not. It is indeed over.
Dyer's middle tower is under
So, I mean, overall, I mean, I've talked to you about this. I think your spellcasting in fights is not your problem. For people who don't know, Colley's played a lot of other games that require very specific spell casting and, like, button pressing and sequences and stuff. I think the major thing I really want to emphasize is your relief of pressure on farm from your course. You're farming, but you're not farming the right spots on the map. So it comes down to just think about, understand dead lane concept in the sense that, like, bottom lane's dangerous. Who should go there? It's all about relieving pressure. In this game, it really should be you. And even if it's, like, not technically your fault that Void's going there, like, he shouldn't be going there, I just know that he would never go there if you were going there. So a lot of times as support, you can kind of protect your cores by taking the dangerous farm. Because if you're taking the safe farm, you're kind of like robbing your core of the farm that they would otherwise take, and then you're kind of forcing them to either fight you for farm or then take the farm that is dangerous. So I think that's the That's the major thing about this. So when it comes down to like team fight execution, the only problem I have is that you're not checking out fights before you get there. You're not looking at the fight as it progresses. You just know you're supposed to show up. So while you're split pushing or while you're doing other things, try to get in the habit of thinking about, you know, what am I going to react to or whatever, and kind of looking at it to get yourself better information so you're not kind of just blind TPing into stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that, Collie. Sorry it took so long to get the replay.